Hey, how's it going? It's been a crazy long week and a half since I made my last video, so I didn't plan on it taking me quite that long, but the week was super crazy. I had lots of imaging, blood work was nuts. We had lots of bids to type up, which is good, but I was just running nonstop and napping when I could. And yeah, so basically the imaging I had last week had the CT angiogram of my abdomen and pelvis. That was ordered by Dr. Hauser, and well, actually technically ordered by the vascular surgeon here, but was ordered by Dr. Hauser. Also, he wanted to see a copy of that. The regular radiologists only look for the exact thing that the vascular surgeon tells them to look for. They never look for anything extra, and the vascular surgeon, I don't think, looked for anything extra either. But I did, from the regular radiologist report, already meet the criteria for Nutcracker Syndrome. And I had a 70% stenosis of the left renal vein. That's when lying down and like on an empty stomach. So the compression goes up, with activity or upon standing, blood flow circulating, basically. So basically what's happening is that my superior mesenteric artery and my abdominal aorta are compressing my left renal vein and not allowing it to drain properly. So it causes a lot of kidney pain, like left flank area pain, pretty much all the time, nonstop. Gets better when you lay down, but if you're like moving around, it's like constant. So that was confirmed, which is just the next step in the process, which we knew it already, but it was yet again confirmed. They make you confirm it like 12 times. And then the next thing that John and I looked at on the CTA was that my measurements, not only do they meet the criteria for Nutcracker, but they also meet the criteria for SMA syndrome, superior mesenteric artery syndrome, which makes total sense to me, because if you think about it, the superior mesenteric artery and the abdominal aorta are involved in both syndromes. And in Nutcracker syndrome, they are compressing the left renal vein, and in SMA, it's kind of misleading, but in SMA, it's not what's being compressed. It is also compressing John and I had a discussion of duodenum or duodenum, and apparently it's duodenum, but people say it all the different ways. So the SMA is compressing the duodenum in superior mesenteric artery syndrome. So that means that whatever goes in the stomach, I assume mine's it has to be only partially compressed, because I'm still able to get some stuff past my stomach, but that's about the time frame of when things should be passing from your stomach to your duodenum, is about the time frame where my pain like really kicks into high gear in that upper area, separate from the kidney flank pain. So we're pretty positive that I've got SMA as well. My measurements confirm it, but I guess there's a weird chance that my anatomy's different, but all of my symptoms make sense with SMA. It just makes so much sense. And basically, we're going to just see where that takes us. I've gotten the discs off to Dr. Hauser's office for him to look over himself, because he's looking for all the things. He can also look for pelvic congestion syndrome, which is another compression that sometimes happens if you do have Nutcracker, on top of that, because of your blockage there can lead to blockages other places because things have to be rerouted, et cetera, et cetera. So, we can look into that as well. And so he's got those discs in the mail. Hopefully he'll get them by Wednesday. And the other disc that's on the way to Dr. Hauser's office, that's actually for his, the other doctor up there, Danielle. She's working on my shoulder. Well, we're not doing anything to it yet treatment-wise, but she's been doing imaging and testing on my shoulder to kind of figure out how damaged it is from the Starbucks slip and fall injury I had back in 2016. Crazy. It's been this long since I've gotten it taken care of, but it's in pretty bad shape. So I ended up getting a MRI arthrogram on that after they sent me for the wrong imaging and gave me an MRI with contrast, which was kind of useless, but the arthrogram should hopefully show, it definitely, the report shows labrum tears again, but it says recurrent, and that's not the case. I've never re-injured it. It's just, I don't know, shredded from EDS, along with the surgery didn't take. It never got better. And there's some weird stuff going on with the supraspinous tendon of the rotator cuff on the top, and I feel a lot of pain up there. So Danielle's going to take a look at that for that workers' comp claim and see what can be done about the shoulder situation. So those two discs are on the way to Caring Medical, so it's just kind of a wait and see with them, but that's exciting that I finally got all that imaging done. And I had a bunch of blood work and all that stuff done. None of that was super concerning, but it did show that I am starting to have some nutritional deficiencies, so I need to kind of try to up my protein intake if at all possible. Eating has been the really hard thing for me right now. Just getting solids down. A lot of times things get stuck in my throat, especially if they're like dry because of like the achalasia. I have what's called achalasia of the esophagus, which is nerve damage in the esophagus caused by vagus nerve dysfunction, and that leads to my esophagus is like spasming and not working properly. So solids are like nerve-wracking for me, but I'm doing the best I can. Anything that's like a little softer, but it does cause a lot of pain when I eat. And one thing John and I noticed in my CTA of my abdomen was that when I'm lying down, my stomach is not as low as it was in my barium swallow study when I was standing up. It had raised up a little bit, just above the pelvis, not where it belongs by any means, but it wasn't nearly as low. So I've been trying to wear this, it's called like a jelly band, I think. It's like an abdominal binder. And I originally got it for my slipping rib syndrome, but I've been trying to wear that to try to keep my posture a little bit better, try to keep everything a little bit more in place. And also been like laying down when I eat, with, slightly elevated, obviously, so I don't choke, but with my legs up and everything to maybe raise my stomach a little and see if that maybe relieves the compression somewhat and maybe things can get moving more free. It seemed to help a little bit. I can get the food down okay. It's way easier to eat that way than it is like sitting straight up like at a stool or a chair, but I'm still having quite a bit of pain, especially with solid foods. So got a lot of high protein, low fiber shakes, and we're going to try those for a little while and see if I can get my protein count up a little bit. I know it's not exactly worded that way on the blood work, but there were so many different blood works. I just know they pointed to slight protein deficiency. So I'm supposed to be on a high protein diet anyways with all of my conditions. So I need to get that up. And, but other than that, John got this awesome mattress topper. It's called a Talele latex mattress topper, and it came in a couple nights ago, and oh my goodness, for the first time since I don't even remember when, for 2 days in a row now, I did not have to take a nap. I might have today if we hadn't have had to go run some errands, and that was like right in the middle of my normal nap time because I was pretty tired today. But I still made it through the day without a nap, and I wasn't like dying or struggling. Yesterday I tried to even lie down and take one, and I didn't even feel tired or sleepy. So my body's exhausted, but not being sleepy is incredible, which means I'm getting, a much better night's rest now that we've gotten that mattress topper. Not tossing and turning. I'm not remembering waking up in the middle of the night. So I think that's going to be a huge improvement over the next week or two, as I continue to get a good night's rest over and over again. So I'm super excited about that, and super thankful for my awesome John, and that he always takes care of me. Even when I'm not asking him to do anything, he'll just start researching and just find whatever he can and just go after it. And it's awesome. He communicated with the owner of the company and everything, emailed him back and forth, and it's the most incredible thing I've ever slept on. So if you're having sleeping problems, get it to Lele Latex Mattress Topper. You don't have to get a new mattress. All right, and then let me see what else happened this week. I guess that's all that happened last week, aside from a bunch of work stuff. And we just hired a new guy to hopefully take over the finish department, so I can get some more rest and have some more time, since I've got all these appointments and things, and it's really not good for me to be, needed in the shop at all times. So if I feel good, some days I can paint a little bit, but I have to take a lot of breaks, so I'm no good for productivity. We need a super productive person. So that's great. We're excited about that. And then the next thing that's happening is this week I will go to the gastro doctor. That's kind of a requirement along this route when you're having digestive issues, obviously. While I'm there, I need to request an endoscopy, and as well as a gastric emptying scan to, it's just part of the process of rolling things out, and the endoscopy can, help determine how bad the SMA is, etc. They can, see, how stuck they get, I guess, when they get to that area of the duodenum. So that's basically what I've got going on right now. It's a lot of wait and see. We'll see what happens this week at the gastro doctor, and then send that report on to Dr. Hauser, and he'll continue to work with Dr. Shu up in Connecticut with my imaging to figure out everything that's going on and the best course of action. I truly, truly believe that our bodies were designed to heal. God designed us to heal. And this, may go against other people's beliefs, but I have had 2 surgeries, 2 reconstructive type surgeries, and neither of them went well at all. My knee surgery didn't go well. I did everything I was supposed to, rehab, physical therapy, etc. It didn't go well. And the surgery for my shoulder also did not go well, clearly. So I am not super excited about the prospect of having surgeries. And that's why I'm going to a doctor like Dr. Hauser instead of through the mainstream conventional route of, surgeon here, surgeon there, specialist here, specialist there. They require you to do that for imaging and for full diagnoses and everything for insurance purposes and things like that, which I understand, there's a process to everything, but Dr. Hauser's process is a little bit different. He's really holistic. He sees the entire picture, the full body approach, and he believes the way I believe, that we're designed to heal, and that's how he treats. And so his goal, if at all possible, is to help me avoid these super scary surgeries that I may or may not be facing. But, the surgery for the Nutcracker Syndrome could involve several different things. There's lots of different options for it, but in my opinion, the least complicated surgery is the one most people think is the most drastic, which would be just removing the left kidney and just, sewing up the vein of the artery, and just that be that. And then, you don't have that compression issue ever again of your kidney backing up with blood. The other surgeries all involve relocating things, like either relocating your kidney or relocating the veins. And the more moving parts in a surgery, the more nervous it makes me. So while I think it's called a nephrectomy. While that is like crazy sounding, it's also seems like the most simple. So I don't know. And then the other surgery for the SMA is crazy. There's so many crazy different options, and that's the even scarier one in my opinion. Apparently that recovery is really hard, like 4 weeks to 4 months, anywhere from, depending on, you know, the patient and how they do. So right now, my goal is to keep as many calories going in as possible to avoid the gastro doctor suggesting that I be put on a feeding tube or something. I'm not sure when they start suggesting that, but I'm doing a pretty good job at keeping my weight up. It's not easy because of the pain. I feel better on an empty stomach, and I don't have an appetite at all until about like 2 or 3 p.m. So, I mean, I told John, at least if I'm eating later in the day, I'm storing the calories more because I'm not burning as many. So I guess that helps a little bit. So that's really right now what I'm trying to do, is just keep as many calories on as possible, avoid any potential feeding tube, and just kind of a wait and see on everybody getting back to me on all of this imaging. And we'll see what happens at the gastro doc on Thursday. I really appreciate you guys checking in, and if you're watching this entire video and still listening, then, you know, that's fantastic. It really means a lot to me. This stuff that people deal with this chronic illness and all these complications is very discouraging at times, and all I want to do is try to educate people and provide some others with a little bit of hope that we can heal. A lot of it is about being your own advocate. That's what I've learned. And if anybody needs any advice or has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. That's why I'm doing this. And I intend to post more. And we're also working on getting the YouTube station up and running. Is that what you call it? Channel, YouTube channel. Okay. I'm going to give you a quick peek at my Sleeping Beauties. And here's Dorothy. And Barbara. All right. They take such good care of me, along with John. And thanks, guys. Have a good night.